Do you guys remember this?
I've got a joystick, I've got a helmet. That's right, and you just put the helmet on like that.
Or this? Or even this?
It came from the third dimension, with its own brain.
See, this was VR when I was growing up. You know, much of it was only accessible by spending 10 or 20 bucks at the mall arcade, or through the magic of filmmaking and post-production. It looked kinda cool, right? I mean, granted, I was just 10 years old, and in terms of computer tech, the 90s was like an age where the general public was in awe of everything. The internet, arcade machines, Wolfenstein 3D, pagers, you name it, it got attention. Anyways, VR is back and once again making the rounds, but don't worry, this is not just another video where I'm going to shit all over this current VR craze. No. There'll be no comparing it to fads of the early 90s, which, let's face it, VR didn't really amount to anything. No, this is about how we present the current state of VR to you know, to the audience, and why it's so difficult to show you an experience that really can't be understood or felt just by watching a bunch of people do this.
Where am I?
They all look like idiots, right? I mean, all of us do. Because let's face it, this is new to us. There is no true base comparison here. We've spent over 30 years playing games with joysticks, keyboards, and gamepads. If I were to show something like this to my dad, he'd probably just start to question my career. So let's slow down for a minute and take a small step back. How would you explain to someone in 1920 what it felt like to fly? Or how about telling someone in the 50s what it felt like to skydive? Or shit, just tell someone in the 80s that in just under 20 years everyone will have a small device that allows them to talk to anyone, anywhere on the planet. Truth is, you really can't. I mean, you can try. Just like we'll try to show you all sorts of VR game demos, and as much as you'll hear that we either liked it or didn't, there just isn't much you can relate to. I mean, I can try out a new car and tell you that it's life-changing, and you may get it. You know, you can look at the specs, and look at all the test drive videos all you want, but you know what driving a car is like. You know, it may pique your curiosity. But with VR, you have to experience it, plain and simple. Game demos do very little to show you how it feels. Watching some random dude flail his arms around like a crazy person isn't going to show you the immersive experience, or lack thereof. And I bring this up because recently we got a Vive in the GameSpot office, and my first question was, how do we show this to you? How do we show you that it's fun? How do we show you that it's not fun? We faced a similar dilemma back in 2006 with the Wii. But even with motion controls, people can relate to the motion of bowling or playing tennis. It's probably one of the reasons why the Wii was so popular with non-traditional gamers in the first place. They could relate to it. But with VR, it's tough. You know, we have a few abysmal failures in the late 80s and early 90s, and then some fun sci-fi flicks. But that's it. Now, we're at a whole new level. Earlier this week, I went to a huge Oculus VR demo here in SF. It was the perfect event to begin GDC. This event had dozens of VR game demo kiosks set up. You know, little rooms where you can try all sorts of games, etc. Problem is, it should be you going to these events, not just us. We can show you all the videos of people waving their arms around looking lost we want, but it's not going to do much to get you excited about VR. Oculus knows this, HTC and Valve know this, Sony knows this. That's why you'll see these giant, VR tour trucks making their way across the country trying to show people VR. Just to get you to try it. Because like everything else that is new, that is how VR is going to succeed. You'll try it, you like it, you tell a friend.
Wow, this place is great. When can we move in? You gotta try this pole.
So if you get the chance, give it a whirl. Make up your own mind, do your research, do your due diligence, but just experience it, because nothing I can say or do will paint the picture of what VR is actually like. It's like being in love, or being heartbroken. Hard to convey, easy to feel. So just feel it.
I love you.
I know.